This is your home girl, Arabia Barbosa 914, which is the county of New York. I am the BT 1000. I am the Jeeper Creeper on this shit. I am Lucy the Vampire. I am the German Shepherd in the goddamn motherfucking room. Shout out to the chat. I didn't think I was going to be able to post anything earlier than Sunday. So shout out to the chat. Shout out to my support team. Shout out to my YouTube creators. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am back. I am back. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. 914 West of the County, New York. We are in the house. We are in the house. This is your home girl. Arabia Barbosa 914 West of the County, New York. A shout out to Sis, Rabbi got a rant. Shout out to my support team. Sis, Rabbi got a rant. I was just on your channel on Sunday. And me and the Empress over there, we had some words. We had some words of truth and facts and, feelings and all that. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. We have to agree to disagree. She and I. I don't have to kiss her ass and she don't have to kiss mine. We're not married to each other. We don't know each other. We never met each other. We only know each other from off these YouTube streets. Shout out to the YouTube streets. A shout out to the YouTube streets. Sis Rabbit got a wrench over there. Shout out to you. Keep the change. Shout out to you. Brown skin lady. Shout out to you. Sister T. Shout out to you. Vince, the sniper. Shout out to you. Queen Regina. Shout out to you. Shout out to those that I'm subscribed to. Whether we agree to disagree, we are on these YouTube streets. I am the BT 1000. I am the Jeeper Creeper on this shit. I am Lucy the Vampire. I am the German Shepherd in the goddamn room. But I'm going to talk about that video I saw this morning. I'm going to talk about that video I saw this morning as I was getting up, as I was cleaning up, as I was getting my clothes ready to go to work, as I was preparing my wallet to go to work, as I was doing everything I had to do to get my life going in the right direction this morning, this day, this evening. I'm not going to get no sleep. I'm not going to get an inch of sleep. But I had to get my sleep for the last 3 days. So that's good enough for me. Shout out to the chat. But we're going to talk about this woman that was accused, falsely accused of shoplifting in a store. Her daughter, her 10-year-old daughter was with her. The police arrested the mother. They had no evidence the mother stole anything from that store, that establishment. The daughter was out there screaming and hollering. The daughter was out there defending her mother. The daughter was out there crying her eyes out. I wish that was my daughter. A lot of you women, you take your children for granted. You take your children for granted, but I am Arabia Barbosa. I have done a lot of things wrong in this life. I've done a lot of right things in this life. I would give my right arm to at least have one child. And you women are being blessed with children. You're being blessed with people that will come into your life and try to rescue you, try to help you, why don't you build a relationship with your children? Nobody ever tried to build a relationship with me when I was a child. I had to go out in the world by myself. Me and one of my moderators know about it. Shout out to you, homegirl. New York is in the house. We know how important it is. Family ties, children staying in their place, mothers doing what they need to do, fathers need to do what they need to do. But when I saw that 10-year-old child crying out, my heart broke. My heart was broken. Let me say it in Spanish. Mi corazón estaba roto. Mi corazón estaba roto. That means my heart was broken when I saw that child out there screaming for her mother. Shout out, DL, thank you for coming in. Shout out to you. Shout out to my chat. Shout out to DL. Thank you for coming in, baby girl. Thank you. But I want to talk about this young 10-year-old child that was out there screaming for her mother. She said her mother did not shoplift nothing from the store. Why was the mother taken into custody by the police and the 10-year-old child was left out there in the street by herself? Screaming, hollering, all emotional. You know how traumatizing that is for a child to see the parent go to jail. You know how traumatizing it is for your child to see you being put in a place of disrespect, being put in a place of vulnerability, being put in a place where you can go to jail. You might not see your child for a couple of days. You know how that fucking feels? When I was born, my biological mother, I never said it out loud. My biological mother was a booster. She used to go to different stores and boost clothing, clothing items. Her and my father, they used to run teams together. They used to boost from different stores in New York. They used to take me and my brother with them. And then one day, as my father was putting away certain merchandise away, he saw I was looking at him. And he told my mother, we cannot take Arabia back on none of these booster trips. I was not talking then. I was walking, I was crawling around, but I could not talk. The only thing I could do was play and walk and crawl and do what I needed to do for my parents at that time. But when I got separated from my parents, what happened? I stopped talking. I stopped walking. I stopped doing a lot of shit because my parents wasn't there. It took me a long time. People actually thought I was retarded because I would not speak, I would not talk, I would not do anything. I was separated from my parents. Even though me and my brother was together, I was separated from the two people that was supposed to be protecting me, helping me, training me, doing what they had to do. My parents failed me. I never wanted to fail none of my children. So I asked the universe at 9 years old, do not grant me not one child. But as I got older and older and older, I said I would give my right arm for a child. It might not come through my body, may come through another woman's body. I don't know. I don't know. Only thing I always wanted was my own children from my own body. Could not have it because I was afraid. And as I got older, I started regretting my decision. And I made that decision at 9 years old. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I'm not going to be here that long. I just want to tell my heart. I'm going to talk about what's going on in my heart when I saw that child this morning on that video. I don't know how old that video is, but the video is getting ready to go viral about the mother and the child caught in the store. The mother was accused of shoplifting. The 10-year-old child was out there screaming, defending her mother, defending her mother. And I heard that Tommy Sotomayor had some choice words about that. He said something about single mothers don't need to raise children. But let me tell you something, nigga. What happens when the man walks out? What happens if the man doesn't walk out? What happens if the father is there in the home? Tommy Sotomayor, what happens if the father is in the motherfucking home and the father fucking get killed? Tommy don't talk about that. A lot of these women, they do get married. A lot of these women do get married to different dudes. Whatever lifespan he's on, whatever he's doing in his life, she takes that man for what he is. Shout out to the chat. Tommy Sotomayor, you are not correct about everything. You are not right about everything. You are wrong, sir. Are you going to bail the mother out of jail? Are you going to give the family some money so this shit don't happen again? Are you going to talk to that woman's lawyer? I think not. I think not. Tommy Sotomayor, you talk so much shit about single black women. You dumbass nigga. Some women get married at a young age, 20 years old. When my grandmother married, how old was my grandmother? What, 15? Some women get married at 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 years old. They marry the person they have children by. But what happens if the father falls off? If the father gets in some type of trouble and goes to prison? What happens if the father goes out there working his regular job, living his best life, minding his own business, and get cut down in the streets for whatever reason? It could be a car, could be a bullet, it could be. So to my year, you don't know what the fuck you talking about all the time, sir. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I followed and listened after you from 2013 all went to 2021. You left. You ran to another social media platform. That's what you did. But then you came back over to YouTube. And people in the sector welcomed you. Why? Why did they welcome you? You have no good words to speak to anyone. Every time I look up, you want to talk about the black woman this, the black woman that. How did the black woman get here? If you go into the Nation of Islam lessons, they will tell you the black man came first, then here comes the black woman. The black man is God, cream of the earth. Who is the black woman? She is goddess. She is the mother goddess, queen mother. That's who she is. We've been in this country so long, we forgot our own names. We forgot our own culture. We forgot our religion. We forgot our languages. We forgot everything. We forgot how to treat each other. That young girl, 10 years old, she reminds me of a lot of women I met when I was in the penitentiary. That's what that 10-year-old girl reminds me of. And those type of women are very aggressive. They are very loud. They are very protective. They are very territorial. It's never going to stop. It's never going to end. And we need our women to be aggressive. We need our women to speak up. We need our women to protect the children, to protect the home. But where does the man come in? And a lot of times it's not because the man walked away like you, Tommy Sotomayor. You walked away from your family. You didn't want to be with the women. So you took in your children. At least you had enough sense to raise some of your children. You did not raise all of them, sir, but you raised two of them that I know about, sir. You raised Alex, sir. Is she the same way as your girlfriend or as the woman that is her mother? Is she that way? Or is she more like you? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Frank, thank you for coming in. Frank, thank you for coming in. Thank you, Frank, for coming in. DL, anyone that's ghost watching, thank you for coming in. But I want somebody to hit this link and explain to me how you feel about that 10-year-old child out there screaming, hollering, crying, defending the mother. Let me tell you something about what's going to happen to that 10-year-old little girl. And it got to happen real quick. The father, whoever the father is, he need to come back into play. If he's out there. If she got grandparents, they need to be in that child's life. The aunts, the uncles, the cousins. Those are the people that need to be in that child's life. I don't know what kind of life she living with her mother. But I'm going to tell you something. If that was my daughter, when I leave out of here to go to work at night or go to work in the morning, at least I know if that young woman was my child, I know she would watch over the whole house. She make sure nobody come in this goddamn house. The food and everything would be prepared for her to do whatever she need to do. If she want to, watch TV, she can watch TV. If she want to be on the internet, she can be on the internet until I get back home. But that is not a child responsibility to take care of a house or an apartment by themselves. It's not their fucking responsibility. But I would be glad to have a child like her. A child like her. Even in my old age, I would be proud to have a daughter like that. Speak up for me. Shout out to the chat. I would be so proud. I'd be like, well, at least my daughter's speaking up for me. At least my daughter, doing this. At least my daughter doing that. But a child like that, she needs plenty of support, love, and plenty of support from her family members. And a child like that, you need to encourage to get all the education they can get, to learn whatever skills they need to learn and apply it for their own selves. and use that knowledge, whatever they get from their child, and use it. I've been using my knowledge from my childhood all the way into now. I'm 51 years old, getting ready to turn 52. How old you think that 10-year-old child gonna live? She's loud. She's aggressive. She defends. It feels like that child was born in the wrong body. Not to say that she need to be a male child, and she need to be a part of the Lion Kingdom. She would be very welcome in if she was a lioness, because that's how they are. They protect, they support, they love, and that child love her mother. You can hear it in her voice. That's, oh my goodness. The children love the parents more than the parents love the children. Tommy Sotomayor, you know it. So stop being a jackass on YouTube or wherever you at and talking about the plight of the single black mother. She's single for a reason. And it's not because the man left her. A lot of times because they are already married. They got married to somebody a couple of years ago. You don't know nothing about their personal life. You don't know nothing about their wedding bliss. And sometimes the man get killed, not from gunshots, not from bullets. Sometimes it's simply as riding his bicycle somewhere. Simply as walking down the street, trying to catch the bus, or driving in his car, trying to go to work. Something happens. My grandfather fought in World War II. He was a teenager. He fought for this fucking country. He was a Navy man. Shout out to Grandpa Smith. And he had a whole lot of hate in his heart for white people. Couldn't stand white people. Hated white people. Even though I wasn't raised under his umbrella, certain things run through the blood. Why did he hate them so much? You know why Grandpa Smith hated white people? Because his grandmother was a slave. His grandmother didn't resemble what a black woman looked like. She looked white. She had white skin. She had dark brown hair. She had the brown eyes. She looked like a white woman. Her father was her slave master, and she hated her father. She hated her father's house. When freedom came, she was more than happy to leave off that fucking plantation. Her mistake was to got with another mulatto, just like her. And that one was totally hateful. Hate can travel from one generation to the next. That's what it can do. I've seen it do it. I've seen hate eat people in my family. The older members, some of them are not here no more. But shout out to the chat. Tommy Sotomayor, yeah, you have the right to speak whatever you want to speak. But you better speak the goddamn truth and stop with this bullshit about single black women that are mothers. How did they become single? All of them didn't become single because the man left them or they left the man. It's other circumstances. You know it and I know it. We living in the concrete jungle of America. Whether it be Atlanta, Georgia, whether it be New York, whether it be Virginia, whether it be Florida, whether it be Texas, whether it be California, whether it be Vermont, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, wherever it may be. If you are a young man or a young woman, see it happen. They get married. Something happens. Either the man leaves or he gets killed or there's some kind of divorce going on. Then she becomes single again. The only thing I want my sisters to do is stop accepting stepfathers. Stop accepting stepfathers. There is no such thing as another man taking care of another man's child. It don't need to happen. It does not need to happen. It is unnecessary. We don't want it. We don't want it. We are living in the matrix. We are living in the in between. We need to look at what other kingdoms are doing. The lion kingdom tells you when a male lion comes in, those are not his children, he's going to kill the king or chase him off. He's going to come in and fight against the females. If it needs to happen, he will kill the female. Those females that do not protect their cubs will not be killed, but he's going to kill those cubs because those cubs are not his children. As plenty other species of animals that do the same thing. You go to the cat world, they do the same thing. Different species of animals do the same thing. So do humans. A lot of these women need to stop bringing in the stepfathers. No more stepfathers. We don't need no stepfathers. We see what stepfathers do. There's a dude by the name of John Moses Reagan sitting in a state prison in Virginia because he became a stepfather. He became emotional when my sister-in-law told him, because my sister-in-law was married to my brother, and my brother had no problem letting her get divorced and letting her go on about her life. But the next man was not going to be that easy. See, let me tell you something. Michael and Crystal grew up with each other. They knew each other from young age all the way to teenager, all the way into young adults. So, of course, when she said, look, Mike, I want a divorce. This marriage is not working. He said, okay, it's not working. He knew it wasn't working. He went on with the divorce and he went on with his life. He went on. Something inside of him said, I must go on because there is nothing for me there. I got my children there, but I must move on from that relationship because the relationship is over. He had enough maturity. Got niggas out here don't got no maturity. They think like a little boy. When you will marry a woman, that is not your mother. That is your wife. And a lot of niggas don't take it serious. And Tommy Sotomayor, you need to come out here and start really telling the real truth. Don't talk about your life so much. Oh yeah, you say you the spokesman for other men. Prove it. Prove it. The next time I go live, I want Tommy Sotomayor to hit my fucking link. Or I want Mr. Skinny to hit my fucking link. Or I want Vince the Sniper to hit my fucking link. Or I want some other kind of man to hit the fucking link and tell me, Arabia, you're dreaming. What I heard this morning was not a dream. That was a terror mare. Seeing a 10-year-old girl. Usually see boys out there fighting for their mothers. That was a 10-year-old female child crying for the mother, screaming for the mother. You already know what this 10-year-old gonna do when she get grown. When she get grown, she might become a lawyer. She might become a judge. She might become a doctor. She might become a scientist. She might become a counselor. She might become a social worker. Whatever line of work, whatever career this 10-year-old girl takes up, she always going to have in the back of her mind, I got to protect my family, regardless of what kind of career I take, regardless what salary I'm making. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to take care of home. I'm going to protect home. I've seen it before. And those women like her, that little 10-year-old girl, usually they do not grow up to become inmates. They usually grow up to become doctors and lawyers. That's what they usually do. They usually go into the medical field or social work. They become social workers, but they are so aggressive. They are aggressive in what they're doing. Someone's calling me. They're gonna have to call back. They're gonna have to call back. I already shut it off. But do you, the rest of you, think I'm wrong? Those that are not here, I know you would catch the playback. I know I've been gone for a little while. Child, these YouTube streets is on fire. Some people do not want me to talk. Some people want me to shut the fuck up. I will not shut the fuck up. This is my channel. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna keep telling the truth. I'm gonna keep talking about what I see in the world, where I see what's going on in these YouTube streets. I'm always going to be me. Arabia Barbosa, 914 Western County, New York, the BT 1000. I am the original BT 1000. Probably the only one left in the sucker. And I'm the only one that got her own channel. Shout out to the chat. And I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to shut the fuck up. This ain't no day for callate. No más tontería, no más tontería. ¿Qué diablo está pensando contigo aquí, mi gente? ¿Qué diablo está pensando contigo aquí, mi gente? What the fuck is going on here? What the hell is going on? Nini kuzimu kila wakati. That is a Swahili phrase. The other phrase I was speaking was in Spanish. Nini kuzimu kila wakati means what the hell. It will always be. A shout out to the chat. And I yield the floor. I'm out of here. Thanks everyone for coming in, spending time with me. Shout out to you, shout out to you, those that are not here. When you come here, listen to what I'm saying. Please like and share the video. We need to get the message out. That 10-year-old child girl, child. She's going to be the next lawyer, the next doctor, the next judge, probably the next senator somewhere, next congresswoman somewhere. But she's always going to have that aggressive attitude. And we got to make sure she makes it from 10 years old all the way. I don't care how old she get, 51, 60 years old, 70 years old. We got to make sure she reaches 70 years old. I don't care. I'm tired of our young women being beat down and destroyed for speaking their fucking mind. And Tommy Sotomayor, you should be ashamed of yourself. You got children of your own. You know how that young woman feel. You know how she feel. And I'm going to tell you something, Tommy. At least you had enough courage to go and get Alex and raise Alex and try to raise your other children. Is Kwame Brown doing that? Tommy Sotomayor? I think not. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here.